According to his story, they
Yo,
escorted him away from
yo, this
shore.
Rod,
He claimed
man,
they
y'all see what
guided
time
him
this be on
nearly
the front
40 feet
line. This
below the
dude
surface to a hidden
claims
construction
he was
site on the
taken by
ocean floor,
dolphins,
and
man,
that's where things
and went
became even more
underwater
unbelievable.
by
Hollowell told
dolphins
deputies the
to
Dolphins
help
had a
create
project
some
underway, a
underwater
construction
city. Let's
project.
check it
He
out.
claimed they needed help designing structures and understanding their communication. Not spoken language, of course, but patterns of clicks and sounds that dolphins naturally use. Over time, he said, those clicks began to make sense. And the dolphin in charge had a name. Gerald. Yes, Gerald the dolphin. According to Hollowell, Gerald acted as the foreman of the operation. The dolphins supposedly needed a layout for what he described as an underwater community. Condos, a town square, even a recreation center, and when deputies looked at the drawings Hollowell had made in the sand, they weren't simple sketches. Officers described them as surprisingly detailed, almost like architectural planning diagrams. One deputy later joked that the drawings
Sure,
even
they
appeared
weren't
to include
mermaids or
zoning
like any type of
sections,
sirens.
which raises an obvious question. How did Hollowell survive underwater for 3 days? When officers asked him directly, his answer didn't make things any less strange. He simply said, Gerald handled that. I didn't ask questions. You don't question Gerald. Whether he meant that literally, metaphorically, or as part of a confused state of mind remains unclear. After 3 days, according to Hollowell, the Dolphins were satisfied with the work. He said they escorted him back toward the surface and eventually released him near the Sanibel Causeway. But before leaving, he claimed Gerald had one final message. Phase 2 was coming. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, there are several possibilities here. Stories like this often have explanations that are far less mysterious than they first appear. Extreme sun exposure, dehydration, and exhaustion can seriously affect perception and memory. Being stranded in the ocean, even briefly, can lead to confusion and disorientation. And Florida's heat alone can push the human body to its limits. Another factor is that dolphins themselves are incredibly intelligent animals. Marine biologists have spent decades studying their communication systems, social structures, and problem-solving abilities. Their brains are large relative to body size, and their echolocation allows them to navigate and interact with the world in ways humans still don't fully understand. But even with all that intelligence, there's no scientific evidence suggesting dolphins are secretly constructing underwater cities.
See, this is where it gets tricky because the guys would, them people, they would say, if they had a guy like that and they knew of something like this, I could see them telling him, don't say anything about mermaids and sirens. Say specifically dolphins, if anything. Yeah, feel me? I don't know, just something to think about, family. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. It's interesting. Definitely interesting how much popularity the topic's getting, man. The story is a popular story.
At least, none that anyone has confirmed. Still, what makes this story so fascinating isn't just the claim itself. It's the details, the blueprints, the layout, the calm certainty Hollowell reportedly showed while explaining the entire scenario. For deputies responding to the scene, it quickly became clear that Hollowell needed medical attention rather than interrogation. He was transported for a medical evaluation to make sure he was safe and properly treated. And as of now, there's no official evidence supporting his underwater construction story. But the incident has already become another unforgettable entry in the long list of strange headlines that seem to come out of Florida. If nothing else, it raises an interesting thought experiment. The ocean still holds countless mysteries. More than 80% of it remains.
That's a fact, because I was just talking with my good brother last night, and he was saying how a lot of these creatures that we heard about growing up, especially nowadays, with all the stuff going on, are finding their way to warmer climates. And what warmer climates to be at, and heavy populated, where there's still a lot of woods and stuff like that, and, down south, the southern areas, up north. Up north might be a little too, I don't know. It's interesting, family. It's interesting. Up north, of course, it's colder. So it would make sense for, like, creatures of this size, anything. And, I'm just thinking of mystical creatures in general. Bigfoots, because I be into, little research on the Bigfoots. And it's a lot of stuff going on, the Carolinas, Kentucky, Louisville, all around down south. You got these stories, y'all. Lizard man, Mothman, they all down south. So this was in Florida. I'm thinking sirens and stuff like that. I don't think it was dolphins. Me and my good brother talked about this last night. I think dolphins are more organic to the earth. I think they're more, natural. Those are just, another one of God's beautiful creations, dolphins, you feel me? Those could have been sirens, if anything, or like they said, it could have, the government could have been experiment, or somebody could have been experimenting on him and then released him. And, it's so much stuff going on right now, y'all. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what it could be. But let me think. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let me get y'all input on this. I need y'all help with this one, family. Let me get y'all input on this topic, man. Do y'all think it was dolphins that really brought him down to make an underwater city? Why would dolphins be wanting to make an underwater city? That sounds like siren work right there, or government work. But y'all let me know in the comment section, man. You know we on the front line. We not getting off the front line. You feel me? Until next time, man. Shout out as your good brother. Salute.